I am exhausted. So yesterday was my last day of my OB rotation, or at least last day going in. Today is a self-study day, and then tomorrow is my first shelf or end of rotation board exam. I spent the entire morning studying and doing a practice board exam. Did great, feeling okay. Using the rest of the day to kind of go over some of the holes in my knowledge and run a couple errands. But also today I figured, why not do a little of reflecting and summarizing as far as what are some of the lessons I learned going through my first med school rotation. First off, I just want to say that OBGYN very much surprised me at how much I enjoyed it. Now, I still have negative desire to be an OB, but what I can say is it has given me a much deeper appreciation for the field, what they do, and I think just the beauty of the patient care that they deliver. And what I mean by that is there's so many intricacies to prenatal care and then just women's health in general that I had no idea. Well, until the wind messes up all my hair. Returning the suture pad and locker lock that I barely used all rotation. Any surgery resident and student can agree with me that suture pads suck for practicing actual sutures. It's easier to suture actual skin than it is to suture a suture pad. And just like that, next time I'm going to the hospital, I'm gonna be on my internal med rotation. What I was trying to say earlier is that there's a lot of intricacies to women's health that I completely took for granted until doing a whole rotation on OB. And I think that is one of the most beautiful things you can have when you're going through these clinical rotations, is that some of the physiology, the anatomy, the procedures, the long-term relational care that you can give in some of these specialties that you don't really know when you're in pre-clerkship kind of gets brought to the light.
Which is a tumor that produces a lot of androgens, will have viralism and as well as ovarian mass.
We're almost done studying. It's been a long day.
It's been a very long day of studying.
Okay, so you were also on OB rotation.
Yes.
With me.
Mm-hmm.
And this is your first rotation.
Yes.
We have our shelf tomorrow.
Yes.
We've been studying hard. Kinda.
A little too hard, actually.
What have you learned from your first rotation?
Okay, the first is that self-care comes above everything. Sleep, take a shower, work out, because it's a long road. There's a lot of rotations. You don't want to burn out on the first one. And then the second one is to just enjoy the things that you do get to do as a medical student, because you may never get to put on the hat of being an OB ever again if that's not a specialty you choose to do. So for me, I don't think I want to do OB, so this was the last time that I'll get to catch a baby, and it was beautiful and exciting, but not something I want to do for the rest of my life.
Yeah, pretty well said. Kind of like where I stand with OB. It was definitely cool while it lasted, and one of the first things I said in the vlog was it made me appreciate what they do so much more, because I coming in did not know a lot of what they did.
Mm-hmm.
And they are just as equally primary care doctors and surgeons, And so I totally see the appeal of it. Like,
Yes.
I mean, I don't know if I had this conversation with you at the beginning where I was like, I don't understand what the withdrawal is for men to go into OB.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying I am, but I can see why now. Because
Yes.
like, you are just as much a surgeon as you are building longitudinal relationships with your patients, and that is really, really cool.
Yes. It's like a really cool mix of like primary care and surgery. But I can't. It's very stressful. You see a lot of clinic patients in a day.
Very, very true.
Mm.
But it prepares you well for the rest of your rotation. I would
Yes.
highly recommend any
Taking
medical
OB
student.
first.
Yes, do OB first, just because you get to manage inpatient situations on the floor. You get to do outpatient clinic, and then you get to be in the ORs for any sort of procedures. So now when you go throughout your clinical year,
You know how to scrub. That's
Yes.
the first win.
you know how to suture. Like, there's not a time where this is your first time in that situation from now on, which I think is really, really good when you start out.
Yes. And also, a lot of the OBs are really nice. At least here, they're really nice. So then, like, they'll teach you how to do stuff.
I'd say so too. I've had a really good experience overall.
Me too.
Ugh.
Life is good.
As good as it can be.
Life is good. It's gonna be fine tomorrow.
Okay. I have my shelf in T-minus 1 hour, so I'll make this quick. Now, I could talk about all the relatively surface level things, like, yeah, you're gonna learn how to study, yeah, you're gonna be tired, there's gonna be long hours, there's gonna be the change of shift, but talking about all of that is not gonna give you anything, and I'm not gonna say anything more than any other YouTuber out there. But there is one big thing that actually came up over dinner last night with a friend that really hit me as to how much I have grown over these past 6 weeks. And that is, if I'm being completely honest, one, this is the first time I have ever felt like a med student. And two, and most importantly, this is the first time since I've gotten here where I'm actually genuinely enjoying being a medical student. And that says a lot, because these past 6 weeks, you finally have responsibility. You take ownership of your patients. You take ownership of your learning, because what you see in the textbook here when you're learning shows up in your patients every day when you come in. So you're not learning to do well on a test. You're learning because I want to be able to give the patient coming to me for help an answer. And believe me when I say I've learned just exponentially more these past 6 weeks than I ever have in the pre-clerkship stage. As tired as I am, as long as the hours are, as like frustrated as you are coming home from like a 10-hour day and then having to study, I feel like a medical student now. And not just that, but I'm enjoying it, which I guess is pretty telling that I'm in the right place and this is where I wanted to be. I hope those that are in pre-clerkship or even wanting to be in medical school, and you'll see all littered over the internet, yeah, those first 2 years, they suck. Third year, it's gonna suck at times too. Like, you're not escaping that. But there is an underlying beauty to that part of your training where you're actually in a hospital and you're actually hands-on training to be the physician that you will eventually become. And that experience is priceless. I'm incredibly thankful to all the residents and attendings that I've worked with, been part of the learning process for me, and you've made my experience incredibly joyful and fulfilling every day coming in. There was never a day where I didn't want to come in. There's days where I was nervous, and there's days where I was very, very tired. But man, his rotation's cool. Anyways, wish me luck on this shelf, and the next time I see you, I'll be in internal medicine. So hopefully I enjoy that just as much as OB.